Welcome back to Up the Villa. This is our match preview. Chelsea v Aston Villa on Sunday, joined by Earl. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Still a bit fuming from yesterday, but that was a good performance.
I know that me and you we've been doing a few debriefs on WhatsApp messages of what needs to improve with Villa, and I think we saw signs there of what one man can do to our team. Boubacar Kamara, I've sort of waxed a bit of lyrical over him over the last couple of days, and it was sort of a welcomed addition back to our side. So I'll get your thoughts on that on Juventus, because it did feel like a lot better performance from Villa with sort of like the Emery core foundations and principles, really, of what makes up his team, and when it comes together, how well it can perform. So what were your sort of overriding thoughts after Juventus?
Yeah, I was pretty pleased with how it went. I think over the past few games we've been really struggling defensively, I would say. So it was a good defensive display against Juventus. I thought they never really looked like scoring, really. I mean, we had that one Emi Martinez save that was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, other than that, I don't think they looked like scoring. I think we did. I thought we should have had a goal. So yeah, promising signs, I think.
Frustrations with these UEFA officials that seem to be just happening every single time we play a game in Europe, really. It goes back to Conference League days, doesn't it? How we were getting shafted by some of these officials. So we have got Chelsea up next, a team that are revitalised. They're actually quite good, aren't they? They're and that's, I'm not saying that to sort of be surprised about them, but they actually look really good. A lot of their signings now, you can start to see why they were signed, and Maresca's got them playing really good football. I think everybody probably looked at the end of Pochettino and thought, oh, he was kind of getting going there. It looked like they were really onto something, but Maresca's gone in and brought his principles and put his stamp on things, and his system's really fluid. It works really well. Cole Palmer's still doing Cole Palmer things. I've got to say one thing. Chelsea fans, he has stole Morgan Rogers' celebration. It is a legitimate thing that he has stolen. So yeah, it is Rogers' celebration. So hopefully we see the ice cold Rogers celebration at Stamford Bridge. But Cole Palmer's doing well. A player that I really rate is Madueke. I think he's exceptional on the right wing. I think he's flourishing. I think he was really good for England in the last international break. I think he really stepped up and took his chance really well. One player that gets a lot of stick, and he got a lot of stick after the Euros, is Cucurella, who I think Cucurella's quality. Like, I really rate him. I loved him at Brighton. I think he's just dynamic going forward. I think he's got technical ability when he has to go into midfield a little bit. Really rate Colwill. Jackson's firing. They're a dangerous team, aren't they, Earl?
Yeah, I think last season, probably the season before, it just they weren't in great form, and a lot of new players, and they're all trying to fit in, and they became a bit of the butt end of the joke a little bit at times. But Cucurella as well is a big example of that. But yeah, he's always been a decent player, to be fair.
Got great hair as well. Anyone that knows me knows that headband, long hair, you're already a 7 out of 10 footballer before you even kicked a football. So we'll just go to the tactical pad and just have a little look at what they do and what they do really well. I'll share the screen so you can actually see. That might help. Right, so here we have Chelsea, a 4-2-3-1, but they evolve into a 3-2-5. So the way in which that they do that is that Cole Palmer makes up a front five We've got Felix, who tucks inside a little bit slightly, and Cucurella will offer that width on that left-hand side, which makes up that front five when he gets into those attacking areas. His average positions are averaging around the halfway line, so that shows that he's doing half his work there and half his work up there, which means he ends up averagely around that halfway line. We then see Fernandez, who is the one who will push up a little bit further. Caicedo will act as the bottom of that pivot, and then their back three will tuck across like this. And what you can sometimes see, depending on personnel, it might be Cucurella that will step into that central area, and then the width can come from that right hand side, or it'll be Fofana that will tuck in there. So generally, that's the makeup of their team, that they want to get that front five going, and then they've got the runner from Enzo who can get on the edge of the box as well. So that's the makeup of their team. Oh, you've done some graphics as well for us, so you can kind of talk us through a little bit of what we do see within this Chelsea system.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's always going to be that kind of 3-2-5 shape attacking wise from Chelsea, but they have got a few different ways that they can get there. Obviously, they've got a lot of players, like we all know, but what it does give them is, you know, different looks and, you know, always that impact off the bench as well. So yeah, I mean, it could, it can vary. It's been, you know, Pedro Neto sometimes off the left there, who's probably more of an out-and-out winger than Joao Felix, for example. And then obviously Madueke's been the guy on the right. Fullbacks has been a bit of variation as well, probably due to injury, whether it's kind of the back three shape that we've been talking about with three kind of centre halves, Badiashile, Colwill and Fofana, or it could be kind of a two, and then they have Malo Gusto, who's had a good season as well. And if it's Gusto, he's then usually a fullback but inverted into midfield, like we say. But yeah, for the passing network, I think the thing that stands out to me, if you're looking at the top combinations, there is Levi Colwill. I don't know how many times his name is popping up over the last three games, but he's been absolutely key for them in the middle of that back three shape and kind of dictating play and build up from the back.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of praise as well. Gusto is a player that I really rate highly as well. I think this passing areas tells a lot as well. I'll let you talk us through it.
Yeah, they've been one thing under Maresca. They've been a lot more compact, I'd say, and more bodies in the middle of the pitch. I think last season, one of the issues that they had was kind of Caicedo was on an island in there in the midfield on his own at times. But like I say, they've been inverting that fullback into midfield. They've been having that extra man in there, and the play's been, you know, quite central, like you can see from the heat map on the screen. So you can see there's a lot of passes into Colwill, who'll be in the centre there dictating play, like we'll say, and then Cole Palmer as well, obviously, who's been that kind of central attacking midfielder in central areas.
I think it really highlights exactly what you've just said, but you can really see that, you know, there's a build-up area, so you can imagine that the build-up with the three going into the two in central midfield, and you can see how it sort of fans out wide. So you'll have your wide left, your wide right, and then you've got those little pockets of those red zones where Palmer's getting on it, or Felix is getting on it, and Jackson's getting on it. So, you know, you can really see where they want to be able to do the damage.
It's very Pep Guardiola, very Pep Guardiola. Like Maresca's obviously an ex Pep guy, isn't he? So what they're trying to do is, even when they've got the ball, they've got all the players in the middle of the pitch. So if they do lose the ball, they've got all the bodies in the middle, and they can try and win the ball back. That's what they're trying to do. Serious
question then. Why are all Pep disciples doing quite good? Maresca, Arteta, like, is it that his coaching has really been able to, like, progress these managers, or is it that they nick his ideas and try and like enhance it themselves? Like, you know, it's no fluke that Maresca and Arteta are both tactically quite astute and play this brand of football.
Yeah, I mean, probably a bit of both. I think it's the style of play that's kind of on top in world football really now, isn't it? You know, you see Pep's influence everywhere. I think with Arteta, he kind of went away from it at points this season, and that's kind of when they had the dip. So, yeah, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, you dip away from the Pep idea that you've been schooled on, and you're probably going to have a few problems if you try and go it solo. So the next one, I just really wanted to highlight on that sort of like back 4-3, so you can see if it's Gusto, he's going forward, Fofana's tucking in more. You've got Colwill, Cucurella as well. This one I thought was really interesting, Earl, because to me it looks very, and I would imagine it backs what I see when I see Cucurella play, that he's really energetic. He puts himself about a lot. He seems to win his duels. He's tenacious, and I look on that sort of left hand side where he's going. That's where there's more sort of recovery / tackles going in. Is that something that you would pick up on?
Yeah, I think it's something that they probably are quite good at is this winning the ball back. The number, so 49 over the past 3 games, it's good. It's not the most you'll see, but they are turning quite a lot of those, like percentage wise, into shots as well. Yeah, something to look out for.
Yeah, definitely. And then I know you always surprise me with this one. So we've got shot locations in the last 3. Is this a lot or is it average?
Yeah, so 15.3 shots per game over the last 3 is a lot of shots. So I say that the average for the league is around 13 shots per game. So they're 2 shots above average, which is pretty good.
Do you know what are we averaging? Do you know off the top of your head?
Oh, good question. For the season, no, I can't remember. I think we're 11.9 against, but I don't know what we've got for.
Okay, we'll let you off. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to highlight something that I picked up on against Leicester, Chelsea v Leicester, that I thought was really telling. I felt like when I was watching this was a game where when I was watching it, it was sort of ideal scenarios for Chelsea, ideal positions to get into. I could really see what they were trying to do. So we've spoke about their formation on what they want to do and the areas that they want to get into. I would say that this is a near enough perfect Maresca playbook within possession. So what you can see is that you've got the back 3. So you've got back 3. Cucurella is off screen. So imagine he's making up that front 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you've got the front 5. You've got the Caicedo and Enzo in the middle. So that combination, you can see how they want to get set. They've got this little triangle through here. So I think this highlights the areas that Chelsea are going to want to get into. We've got some more images here now, which also shows that front 5. It shows how advanced Cucurella will be getting as well. You've got Caicedo that's going to be sitting in there holding, and then you've got that sort of front 2, I would say, of Palmer and Felix, who are able to sort of just drift and move around and drop a little bit, and then that allows players like Madueke, enables Cucurella, enables Jackson to sort of just move around the pitch a little bit more, so Jackson can drop. You can get those runners off. They can try and find Jackson in behind as well. And then I think there's just loads of images here that are really just highlighting the areas that they really want to get into. Again, we've got this sort of back post area where Leicester are really compact in that sort of 18-yard box area, but how their system is, there's always a runner. There's always somebody that's sort of running in behind, running on that blind side. We've got another one here now where they've worked it down that right-hand side, and then you've got to look at that left-hand side. You've got Cucurella at that back post arriving late as well. So these are all different little scenarios that I think Villa have got to be aware of, and I think we've really got to make sure that we are on it really, and we're watching our runners. Again, we've got another scenario here. I think this was off a corner as well, so I highlighted this one because I felt like we had a bit of a mare in the Premier League, and they did this against Leicester, so we've just got to make sure that we are set right, because they can run a lot, but there are areas within this Chelsea team that I think Villa can pose problems. I think slight turnovers when they are out of shape, Chelsea. There was a big opportunity here centrally driving forward. So a player like Morgan Rogers springs to mind there as well. We've got another one where they've bypassed the Chelsea midfield and they've got runners as well. So there's opportunities to try and exploit that back three. And I think when I think about Villa and I think of games where we do well against this, we generally do well against teams that adopt this back three and leave three at the back or leave two at the back. When we played against Bayern Munich, we play against Arsenal, we play against Man City last season. We have got players that can exploit this, and I think it's going to be important that we do that again. And I think it's also important that we utilize the ball as well. We can't be wasteful. We can't get into a good opportunity and waste that opportunity. We've got to make sure that we punish them, because I do think you can create chances against this Chelsea team. I think this is where Leicester got some joy in this game as well. They found this little runner through here as well. So, where do you think? Yeah, there you go. Where do you think Villa can hurt this Chelsea team?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one to say. I'm not quite sure how Chelsea are going to set up, because I think they, well, defensively, I'm saying, because they have shown a few different looks. So, kind of against, think back to when they played West Ham, they kind of known the threat from West Ham comes from the runners in behind, so they kind of sat off more that game, and against Brighton as well, a similar sort of thing where they kind of let Brighton have the possession so then they could break on them. So I think what's key for Villa is just to play our game, really. As cliche as that might sound, we've got a bit of momentum going from the Juventus game. We might not have actually scored a goal, but I thought we were quite good. So I think just do what we do well.
I felt like we looked more like an Emery team with the way that we played. Even when Emery first came in, and when we were defending really well as a unit, weren't we? We would drop into that back six quite often. It was very disciplined, and I felt like we had that against Juventus. I think even though we were trying to play at possession-based football, we had that sense of being very defensively set, and that was something that I really picked up on, and it's something that I think we've got to maintain now, is that we want to sort of keep the ball, we want to pass the ball, but it's also vitally important that defensively that the shape of the team is perfect, that we just really disciplined. So I've picked up a team here now, and we can discuss it. So this is a team that I've put, and I'll just caveat a couple of things that I think we need to do first, and then we can discuss the team. So I think against Chelsea, there are going to be long periods where we do have to defend because of how Chelsea will attack us. I think the game plan may be similar to Spurs, albeit not the second half performance against Spurs, the first half, where we're defensive. We do a classic Emery. We score. We grow into it. We try and get another one. We are very, very organised. So I imagine the back four will probably be quite compact and quite narrow. I think Bailey and McGinn at times will make up that back six. So I think they'll be able to tuck in through there. I also feel like if we are a little bit more expansive, and we can be expansive in this game, that at times if we are attacking, then Kamara can just sort of screen that zone as well. Because I think the big thing to note is that if Chelsea get set in their possession-based style, like I showed you on those images, then they will make up that front five. Now, if they make up a front five against our back four, there's going to be an overload somewhere, and there's going to be a player that nobody's picking up. So it's vitally important that one of these players is able to help out and sort of make up the numbers, basically. And I think Kamara could probably be that player that can sit in there and will be able to help out. So my team that I've picked here, I have a feeling Onana will be back. Could we see an Onana-Kamara partnership or not?
I think we could, but I think it's too soon for that for me. Don't know how much they would have. We know they've not really played together in a game.
Yeah.
But even in training, like I don't know, they've kind of crossed. One's been injured and one's been fit, and then one's been out, and then the other one's back, and they've both been out. I don't know if they've played together even in training. So I think it's something we might see in the future, absolutely. But for this game, I'm not sure. I don't see how we can leave Tielemans out. I think he's maybe had a bit of a dip in form compared to his player of the month performances, but I can't see us playing without Tielemans.
So do you think it could possibly look something like this, or do you think, because what we spoke about before the Juventus game, that we need to start seeing this settled back four? Now, Konsa was on the bench against Juve. Does Konsa come straight back into this Villa team?
I think so, yeah. I thought Diego Carlos had a very good game against Juventus. And we have been saying, especially on this channel, about having that settled back four. But I think Ezri Konsa's fit, Ezri Konsa plays. Simple as that. I think Cash did very well in his Champions League debut. And we've seen in the past couple of games the difference that he's made on that right-hand side. So I think Cash plays. So I think it's Diego Carlos that misses out. And it's not a case of dropping him or anything like that. I thought he played very well, but it's just, like I say, if Konsa's fit, Konsa plays for me. I think the other change, I do like McGinn centrally over the past couple of games, but I think you make a very good point about having McGinn on the left, kind of dropping into that almost like a wing back at times. When they are trying to overload with the five, like you say, I think McGinn will be the one that's dropping in. So maybe him on the left. And again, like you say, it's Chelsea at home. They're probably going to have most of the possession. Like, I'm not 100% sure on that, depending on what they try and do. But it's likely they're going to have most of the possession, and we're going to be playing on the break. So yeah, maybe McGinn on the left and Rodgers central to pick up and carry us forward.
I mean, we do like Stamford Bridge now. We've won our last 2 away games there in the Premier League, so we've shown that we can go there and win, which will give the team massive belief. One thing that I noticed at the game, because obviously I was sitting a lot lower, was how fast Watkins is. I don't know why. When I'm in the whole tent, I mean, he looks fast, but seeing him like really low and how fast he is, I couldn't believe how quick he was. how well he presses and moves the ball out wide. So I think that's going to be vitally important. I think I think we can all agree how we're going to win this game. It's going to be, I think, through Watkins and quickly getting the ball forward. And Bale, I think Bailey's getting better now. I think he's looking sharper. Sort of, he's got his new hairstyle. So yeah, I think he's looking better. I think Cash has massively helped that as well. But I just want to just quickly, just before we finish off, just have a quick little look at the passing network against Juventus, just to finish off on, and just get your thoughts on sort of like Kamara's role and sort of your thoughts on how important he was.
Yeah, well, I mean, the passing network as a whole. So this is the first half, and right away, for those of you who've been watching, all the previous episodes that we've done, or the previous passing networks that I've put out, this is a lot more balanced compared to what we've been seeing. We've been seeing a heavily favoured left side over the course of this season, but it's a lot more balanced there on the right hand side. Carlos's passing was very good for me, but then, like I say, both Cash and Kamara coming in on that right hand side. I've got to mention Cash in there as well, because I thought he was very good, and his passing was good as well. So massively important. Having Kamara back in, we know what he brings defensively, but also bringing Leon Bailey into the game, getting the play going down that right hand side. I thought he was very good. And like you mentioned in your episode yesterday, he was a bit of like a pressing midfielder as well. Did very well against Thuram, who French international. I'm sure there was a bit in it for Kamara as well in that game. He's trying to probably prove a point to the French national side as well. So yeah, I thought he's probably my man of the match as well, Kamara.
Yeah, I mean, it was just good to see him back. I think second half was obviously a little bit different, wasn't it? It doesn't look as good, does it? But I'm not sure why it would look more like that. But was it just that the game was a bit more? Did it have a bit more of like an ebb and flow? Was it a bit more like Villa then Juve, Villa then Juve? Would that be why the network looks more like this?
Yeah, I think, well, the standout thing for me is Ollie Watkins' average position there, number 11. Didn't really get into the game for me in the second half. I think the Juventus centre-backs were maybe a bit more aggressive, all over him kind of thing, and a lot of his touches are kind of hold up touches, so that's why he's there so deep. But yeah, it was still a good performance in the second half, I thought, and a lot more balanced again, like I say, than what we've been seeing in recent weeks. So I was very happy with how we played.
Same. So Chelsea then, how's this game gonna go? I kind of feel like it. I'll be honest. I do feel like it is going to be a difficult game because they're sort of playing really well at the minute. But I don't know. I've just got this feeling that we're gonna rock up there and we're gonna, when everyone thinks, oh, Chelsea are gonna win. Like I've been watching like some different content creators, and the first thing they all say is that, oh, Villa are in a bit of a bad place there. Like they're wrong, and they go off all on this, and I'm thinking, yeah, but that's not going to last forever. And I feel like for as good as Chelsea are, they're better away from home. Their form at home isn't as good as their away form. So I think if we got the first goal, I think we can do something. So what do you think? Like how do you feel like you're gonna feel at full time on Sunday?
Yeah, I think we can definitely go there and there and win. Like you say, we've had a bit of joy at Stamford Bridge in recent times. So yeah, I think we can go there and do it. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling quite positive. You know, the result yesterday, I think, you know, a lot of like neutral journalists and whatnot will be a bit negative about it. They might not actually have watched the game. They'll just say, oh, you know, Villa have failed to win again. It's one of them where they don't shout about Villa when we haven't lost in 11 games, but when we've not won in however many, they'll shout about it. So I think it's one of them as well with fine margins. If that last minute winner had stood, then the whole narrative kind of changes. But I think that's all outside noise for me. I think within the Villa camp, the players, Emery, the coaching staff, I think they all know that was a good performance, and I think they'll all take the positives from that. So go there and
do you know who's the one after the games to look out for his tweets? Vidagani, right? Have you seen some of his tweets?
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
So he's like insider info to how the camp are feeling. You know, he'll sort of, he did the one a couple of games ago about that, like the brick like hitting the wall, and then the one underneath like coming back, and so he gives a real good insight, and you get a real good feel and flavour of what the vibe is, and you know, not once have they ever been feeling sorry for themselves. It's just been, well, we work harder to get where we want to get to, and any little setback, and so he's really good. So I think he's great, and I kind of like that little bit of noise from the Emery camp coming out. It's a good little insight, really. So yeah, so we'll do a score prediction then. I'm gonna go 2-1 Villa. What are you going for?
1-0 Villa. I think the clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like if we treat every game like a Champions League game, like, we'll be fine. We keep clean sheets. We only conceded 1 goal, so yeah, just think, right, lads, Champions League game, let's go. So Earl, cheers for coming on, mate. Villa fans, if you're new, make sure you're subscribing. Smash the like button and comment your thoughts. How you feeling? Drop your score predictions in, and just comment your thoughts on everything that we've discussed. So cheers, mate. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.